Hey there, if you follow us here on our YouTube channel or our website, you know my name is Scott Talley. I'm the owner-broker here at 5Market Realty, where we like to do monthly market updates for our past clients, people that follow us, people that are just interested in Athens area real estate. We keep track of what we're seeing in the market. We also provide update videos for new listings. If you're interested in anything pertaining to Athens area real estate, be sure to click subscribe. You'll be notified when we have a new video. But today we are doing the May monthly market update. We've got 4 months of 2025 to cover. And as you can see right there, here in the middle of the slide, the news is that the spring market's a little slow. At least here on May 5th, it feels like we got a slow start to the market. Things are selling, just not the amount of transactions we want. That's helping our inventory to build up. And as I kind of want to reiterate, which we talked about last month, I want to make sure you understand buyer or seller, know the market you're in, the price point, what you're trying to buy, because that's going to be a little different market right now, depending on your price point. Some things are taking longer to sell. Buyers have some advantages. In other markets, the sellers still hold all the cards, depending on the price. So if you follow these videos, you can see what I like to do is track four main things that we've been doing now since, I guess 2020, April, May-ish 2020, that we've been doing this. So the total new listings for Clark and Oconee County, the average days to sell, the average sell price, and of course the total amount of home sales. So what's already up there is the past 2 years. Let's pull up the numbers for April. And this is what we're starting to see. It's not as good as last year. 2024 had a really strong start to the market, and then we kind of came down a little bit, slower activity towards the end of the year in 2024. Well, that slower activity is continuing, and that is an advantage for the buyers that have been in the market. The prices are not moving as fast, and we're going to cover all that. But new listings, we were down about 5% compared to last year. Days on market, that's the big story there, 60 days. So Clark and Oconee County combined, we got a 60-day days on market, which is up almost 24%, a little over 23 from last year. And we're going to show you that in some later slides too. Average sales price, that is $494, which is still high, but here's the good news. Under 7% appreciation. If you remember, sometimes in the past, I would be talking about the year-over-year changes were 12, 15, 18, 20 plus percent. And that was really unsustainable. So getting these gains to come down is a good thing. And then here we've got 453 total homes sold, which is down 14% from last year. Now we're just going to take a look at the month of April for the last 3 years. As you can see here, we've got 194 new listings, which is down just over 14% from last year. Kind of right in line with 2023, and we're going to cover that on the next slide. Days on market for the month of April, we were 60 for the year to date. Month of April, we're up 18.5% at 54 days. Average sold price for this month compared to last year. Remember what I was just talking about the gains slowing down? Well, we're just up 1.5%, just barely over 500. And last year, April was 500. So this is a good sign if you're a home buyer, and it's something you should pay attention to as a seller when you are pricing your home. You need to set your expectation for what the price is. We have a lot of homes right now that, frankly, the price probably needs to come down and they'll get sold. Right here, we're looking at the total sold for the month of April. Not great news, 142 versus 159 last year, which also wasn't a ton of sales. But we're going to look at a slide to show you what we used to see historically. And then kind of point that out again, 142. The next slide, though, I've done this a few times and I kind of want to keep doing it. We're comparing 2023 and 2024. 2023, what you see right here, is a slow market for us as far as amount of activity. It wasn't that the prices were going down, there just wasn't as many units transacting. And what I'm noticing right here, I said 2024, previously I meant 2025. I'm not loving how these numbers continue to marry with what we saw in 2023. Total new listings is almost right on par, 194 this year, 191 2023. Days on market is up almost 26%. That's one of the big changes. And then the sold price is up about 6% compared to 2 years ago. So that's just for the month of April. And we'll go back one more time and just check these sales. Coming back, look, pretty flat. 2023, 140, 142 in 2025. So for realtors and people in real estate, the amount of transactions is mirroring 2023. Prices are not moving as fast, but they haven't really come down. That's sort of the narrative for the market along with inventory. That's where I'm going to next. This is, as of today, May 5th, classic MLS, residential income, active homes, not active contingent. And that is 473 we've got there. And that is 193 more than last year. This is one of the more significant slides we're going to look at. And I mean, you can see the market changing right here. Look at January. We're right in the middle of a little bit of a market shift. And a year ago, there were less than 300, 280 homes for sale, and almost double that amount now. We'll know in the next, 60 days, how the market's going to absorb these homes. And if it's slow to absorb them, you're going to see these prices move a little bit. So here's another newer, let me get my head out of the way here. This is homes sold in April since 2021, Clark and Oconee County. And what you can see here is 2021 was a banner year, 241, 185 in 2022. And then we get to that 2023 year that I referred to. And now we've really flattened out and we're 41% less than what we saw in 2021. That's significant. That's homes sold in April and we're seeing less transactions. And I think affordability is one of the culprits there. Now, days to sell average, this is another big one because this has represented a big change in our market. You can look there, 2021, 26 days, average days on market, days to sell. We're now at 54. That's almost a 52% increase. And that is a changing market. Now, that is returning to a more balanced market. This is not an alert to say that something terrible is happening. Normalcy is returning when it takes a little bit of time to sell a house. And that's what we used to see before the market got really, really hot in 2020, 2021, 2022. Interest rates have been working. This is what we talk about, the monthly absorption rate, where, basically the amount of homes on the market versus the amount that are selling and what that looks like. 4 to 6 months is a truly balanced market. I think we're closer to that than these numbers are telling you, but we're kind of staying flat here at 3.3. But I do believe, you compare that to what we were seeing last year. So on my left or below my head, you can see here under 2 months. Now we're almost 3.5 months. We're getting there, folks. We kind of slowly been watching this. We're almost to 500 homes for sale in Clark and Oconee County. And some of these homes, we're going to find out when they're not selling what's going to happen. Are they going to go off market or are they going to have a price change? And that's not at every price point. It's different levels. You see some levels below 400 are having a completely different reaction than something well over $1 million. So kind of know the market you're in and what's happening in that price point in that area that you're trying to buy. Pending home sales the month of April. This is one of those slides I did kind of want to end on. And this is kind of to demonstrate to you the type of activity that we were seeing this month. So right here in the beginning, April 2020 was when COVID started. If you can remember that time, that's the 2 weeks that can't remember what it was, slow the spread. And there was a lot of people that were very tense, not a lot of people in the market. And we saw low activity in April. And then we took off in June and May. And we went through those historic years of the real estate going up. And then what happened this past April? Well, that's today. 102 pending home sales month of April for Clark County and 103 today. So that's the kind of April we've had. If you're a seller that's not seeing a lot of activity, don't hit the panic button. That's okay. That's we're seeing a slowdown. We're seeing a slowdown in that. So that's something just to be aware of. And, when you're pricing your home, it's one thing to look at. You need to understand where the real value is. We see some prices that have gone up and then they're coming down $100,000. And if you're a seller, I would tell you it's okay to take a 2-run home run and not try to hit a grand slam, because when you still made money on your property, that is a good thing. And if you need to sell, you need to price it correctly. So this is our group here. I'll cover my head like I always do, 5Market Realty. Anybody in this picture is equipped to help you with you're looking for a home, you're needing to sell, you're trying to move to the area, you're trying to purchase investment property, maybe a condo for a UGA student. Info at 5mrealty.com. Be sure to click subscribe. Thank you for sticking with me it's not too bad. It's only a little less than 9 minutes. Have a great spring and just keep following us for updates, and we'll let you know what we're seeing in the market, what the numbers are. Thank you.